Welcome. Hi, my name is Michele I, and I'm a Stamping Up demonstrator here in New South Wales, Australia. Thank you for joining me today. Really would love it if this is the first time you've been on here to jump on, say hello, and let us know where you're from. Today we're sort of playing with an idea. It's something that I've seen and I saved it to my Facebook page. I saw it on Instagram, and it's a threefold envelope basically, and I thought we'd give it a go. But I'm using Stamping Up products. Their products that they used on theirs wasn't Stamping Up. They used Designer Series paper. I'm not going to use Designer Series paper. So today is sort of like a bit of a mishmash, I suppose, in some words, in the fact that I'm going to be working this out as we go along. So I've pre-worked out some of this, but I haven't worked out all of it. So let me flip my camera over so you can see my desk, and I'll show you something roundabout similar to what we're going to be playing with. And I'll show you the products that I'm going to be using. So let me just take this camera down. Remember, jump on, please say hello, let us know where you're from. And let's just bring my desk. Okay, so fingers crossed today technology is going to work. I've got another old phone hooked up as my camera, and it's all plugged in and everything seems to be working. Please let me know. I've got a microphone pinned to me, so let me know if the sound is okay, because I can't from this end hear anything. So please jump on, say hello, and let me know if there is a problem with sound. Okay, this is what I started playing with. I've just grabbed a bit of discontinued Designer Series paper and started making this up. Now, the original one of this was 7.5 inches deep, and I've made this a bit narrower. But, I mean, you could make it 7.5 inches. It was all in inches, so I've converted it into centimetres. And what it was is a threefold envelope. So you open the first flap, then there was a pocket here, and I'll show you that as we make it along. Okay, I've got a Facebook user from Victoria, and the sound is on and off and crackling. Okay, if it's too bad, okay, I'm going to unplug the microphone. If you can just let me know whether without the microphone is better. Okay, how's that? Is that still crackling? Because I've just removed the microphone. Hi, Rose. Thank you. Is that still crackling from your end? Because now I'm just using the mic from the phone. You just quickly let me know. That would be great, because I don't mind if I don't have to wear this microphone. Okay, I'm going to assume that that is actually a lot better. So I'm going to keep going. So if there's any problems, so I've unplugged my microphone and I'm using it without the microphone, using my, they're still crackling. It's better, is it, Rose? Okay, I will continue using it without my microphone, because what happened when I last used my microphone and someone told me it was really good, when I went and took it off, the little fluffy bit that was on the microphone flew off, and I do not know where it flew to. So that might be what was causing me, like it was stopping the crackling last time. Okay, let's just keep going then the way we've got no microphone, just using the mic on here. But let's keep going. So this is a threefold envelope, card, I'm not quite sure what you want to call it. And what it originally had, it was a lot deeper than this. I haven't done any blogging for a little while, so I really do have to apologize. Just been so busy with doing alterations this last couple of weeks, and I've still got a lot more to do. So originally this is 7.5 centimeters deep, or 7.5 inches deep, I should say. I will put the measurements up for the size of the original one, and the original one was a threefold like this. So that part opened, this part opened, and you had a pocket here, a pocket there, and another flap that came down from the top, okay? And it had a side pocket here, so you could pop little bits and pieces in. That's where my idea has originated from. I've scrapped this idea a little bit. Actually, I won't put the measurements up for this because I think that will confuse everybody. So that's the idea of what I want this to look like. But I'm going to be using the cards and envelopes from the Memories and More. So remembering this is the pack. That's the Sweet Thoughts, Memories and More cards, which you can get in the mini catalogue, and you can purchase the matching cards and envelopes to go with it. So I'm going to be making this idea using these. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit all over the place a bit, so please bear with me, because I started with one idea and I've ended up with another, as we sometimes do. Okay, so what you basically are going to need for this is 2 cards and 2 envelopes that coordinate. Now, what I'm going to do, I've already done it with one envelope, and I will show you. I don't know yet whether I will need the second envelope, but I will do it. Oh, there's still crackling. I'm really sorry. It could even be our weather. We've had really disgustingly hot weather here, so I mean, I don't know. It could be my old phone. The only other thing I can do, just hold on 1 second. Let's give this one a go. I'll mute myself for a moment. Okay, now I'm using the mic that's on my tablet. Is that better? Is there no crackling in that? Let me know. Okay, let's just keep going. So to undo this envelope, I've got a product here that it's not a Stampin' Up product. It's one I used to use many years ago when I was doing a lot of scrapbooking, and it's called Undo. Okay. That is clear. Fantastic. Okay, that's what I like to hear. We'll keep going with that. Undo is a product that is safe, that unsticks your adhesive. Okay, it's safe to use on photos and everything, and you can use it on paper, and it must have some sort of alcohol content because it does evaporate very, very quickly. So what you do for this is you've got this like a scoop on the end of it. So that's how it comes. Here in Australia, we get this from Bunnings, okay? I haven't seen it for years, and then someone told me Bunnings had it, and my husband went and picked me up a bottle of it. Now, this is quite a large bottle. Years ago, I used to have quite a small bottle. I would say the smaller bottle is better if you can find it, because I think this will evaporate quite quickly. But I'm going to show you how to use it on this envelope here. So what we're going to do is take that lid off, and I'm going to just squeeze a few drops into this like a little spade type thing. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to slip that underneath where the adhesive is on the side there, and just basically, we're not going to saturate it, but we are wanting to sort of get a bit of liquid in there and get it to start. And you'll see the paper will discolor, but that will actually go away. And just very gently, you may have to play with it a little bit, and just, now as I said, this is photo safe. I used to use this on photos. If your photo's stuck down and you want to lift it now, you can see that is now starting to lift. Okay, so we're just going to run that underneath there, just letting that liquid flow out of that little scoop, and just allowing that little scoop to help ply that envelope apart. So there's one side done. Going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Just put a little bit of that on there. Now, I would always test this first just to make sure it's not going to affect anything. But all it does is just melts away, basically, all that adhesive that was on there. As I said, I don't know what's in here. It has to be something that's alcohol-based for the way it evaporates. And even though, I don't know whether you can see, my paper is looking really wet, but that will dry off very, very quick. Now, of course, the slower you take it, the better. I am tearing my paper here a little bit. That's it. Just going to grab this bit of chucks here just so I can put the lid back on there and just get rid of that saturation that's in that little scoop. But that's it. And as you can see, that is all now undone with just a tiny little bit of tearing. Now that staining there will evaporate. So you have a tool, Marie, that's good. But this is a product that I haven't seen for a long time, and I used to love it. So we're going to be using our paper, our envelopes for this project. So you need probably 1 to 2 envelopes. This piece here I may use as a belly band. Okay. So, and then we're going to make some pockets out of these pieces, some more pockets out of these, and I'll show you what I've done here because I've already sort of started playing a little bit. I've got my full card here. I've got my second card, which I've already pre-cut. The only other thing I need is you'll need your memories and more cards to help decorate it a bit. And I've got 2 die circles from now where did I put that? It is from the Stylish Shapes. Okay. And I have got my tear and tape as well. Okay. So what you're going to need to make our base, which is this piece here. And as you can see, these pieces here, when they're scored, this one here was slightly narrower than from that score line. So there's a distance between there of probably about a bit more than 1/4 of an inch, or about 75 mil. And then you have this piece here which folds over the top, and again it's shorter by about an inch and a bit, 1.25 inches or so forth there. No, this is not a paper pumpkin kit. This is actually the Memories and More cards that are in the latest mini catalogue. So I'm just cutting them up and using them. Okay, so what I've done here, let me just pop all these out of the road for a second. So here's our 1 card base, and I want to trim this down because I'm going to have this folded that way, and I want to trim it down so I've got a little bit less on one side, and that just helps when the fold over because we're going to put pieces inside. But you probably could do this with a paper pumpkin kit. It's just a matter of playing with it, and Marie, and seeing what you come up with. So I'm going to cut a little bit off one side of this, and I'm probably only going to start off by cutting off probably about 1 centimetre. Okay, I don't want to cut off too much. It's just when we put some bits and pieces in here, it's going to fold back over nicely. Okay, so there's that part. Now it's a 3-fold, so we need our other fold. So what I've done is I've taken another card and I've cut off on this piece here a piece which is 9 centimetres in width. In inches, you're probably looking about 3.5 inches. And then I've done a score line at 1 centimetre. Okay, you could very easily make that a score line at 1/2 inch. Okay, I don't think measurements here at this point really matter that much. Okay, it just means that when you have this overlap, one's going to be slightly more than the other. So let me just double check and make sure that I've got the right amount, because so far I've just been guesstimating. So that's going to adhere there, and that's just going to give me that much of a difference. So I've already pre-scored that, and we're just going to add some tape close to that fold as you possibly can, your score line. And go down to there. Now I've got my paper trim, my snips here, and what I want to do is just trim that little bit there off. And actually what I might do is I'm just going to cut a very slight angle on either side. Now this could be something that you might want to give to someone as a gift, with pieces, like gift pieces in it. For example, lotto cards, a couple of handmade cards or anything like that. We don't get paper pumpkin here, Marie, unfortunately. So, but we do get some of the card making kits. So I'm just going to peel the backing of that off. So this is a piece, the side that I've cut the little bit off, and I now want to, a bit of rubbish there, adhere these two together. So I'm just going to butt these two up. And adhere those two together. Now you can use your bone folder here and just give that a really good burnish just to make sure that that's all come together. So now we should have a 3-fold card. So this piece is going to fold in, and that one's going to go over the top. I probably just have just a tiny little bit of white there. And what I'm just going to do is just see if I can just fold that over a little bit so it looks like it's part of the fold. Okay, so there's our 3-fold. So what we have to do now is we're going to make a pocket to go on this part here. Yeah, we've got a couple of paper pumpkin pieces over the years, but not a lot. So from that first envelope, I've already pre-cut this. So here's my piece here. So this fold here, so this originally went all in there. This part here is, I've taken that from, so here's your flap that when you close up your envelope, it closes up like that, and then this piece here comes down. So there's a score line right there, and what I've done is I've just cut 1 centimetre on that side of my score line, and then I've taken it another 5.5 centimetres either side. So the whole width of this piece here is 6.5 centimetres. Okay, so it's 1 centimetre on the other side of that score line, and then 5.5 centimetres on the other. I'm going to use this fold piece here, because what we're going to do is this piece, this pocket, we're going to fold all these back to front. So we've got the lovely floral on the outside, and then this pocket is going to get adhered to right on there. So to do that, I've measured from the depth of this, which is, these cards are, they're 15.9 centimetres in depth. So then I've allowed that fold there, and I've measured down here 15.9, and I've got that much excess. So what I want to do is I want to trim some of this down now, and I want to remove this little corner here. So I hope you can understand. So I'm going to eventually remove that bit there. So I'm going to use this, and I want to trim it down to 1 centimetre from the other side of that score line. I'm going to pop this. I'm going to turn it upside down just so then I can put this on 1 centimetre. So I'm going to pop that score line I've just made, the new score line, on there, and just trim that little bit off. So I hope you've understood that. So I've made that now, because this was actually longer than our card. Now I've made it the same length of our card and added that extra centimetre on either side. But I still need to trim this piece off. But what I'm going to do first is actually pop on close to that score line. I'm going to pop on some tearing tape. Whoops, we want to pop that fairly close to that score line. Of course, you could use your multi-purpose glue, but I find with this sort of thing, with making mini albums or anything decorative like that, my score tape is the best thing. And now I'm going to cut that at an angle there. And I find it's easier to put my score tape on first and then trim that away. I'm going to trim that at a little bit of an angle there as well. That's from that score line out. Again, this one here, I just want to angle that. And then this one here, I'm going to angle that as well. Okay. So I find it a lot easier to put my tearing tape on first and then trim it, because I don't have to be worried about any torn little bits and pieces. So now this piece here, we're going to take our tearing tape off. Now if you wanted to, you could just take your tearing tape off halfway and then just leave a bit like that hanging out until you're sure you've got it placed where you want it, and then pull the rest of it off. So here's our 3-fold again, and we want this pocket to go along this folded edge. So I'm going to turn that in there. I'm going to work with this upside down a little bit, and I'm going to put this folded edge of my floral piece along that floral, the folded edge of my card. Pop that in there like that. And then this piece here is just going to tuck in. Okay, so that's now forming a pocket there. Okay, so now we can pop something into that pocket. Now what I was thinking of doing before I put the pocket down was actually punching a little hole out of there, and of course I forgot all about it, but that's something else that you can do, and we will be doing that elsewhere on this project. So that's now going to fold back like that, and we've got that little pocket there where you could pop, you know, something into there. So now we need to make another pocket here and a flap here and a flap up there as well. So what I thought I would do, so we're using up all these cards and things instead of cutting them up, I'm going to make another pocket from this piece here, and I'm going to pop that on here, but I want to make sure that I keep a couple of pieces to cut out circles with as well. Okay, so now, as I said, I'm doing this and thinking about how I'm going to do this as we go along. I have got no besides what I've already shown you now, I've got no other pre-cut ideas or anything. So we're just going to now wing it a little bit and see how we go. I'm just going to burnish that off just to make sure that that's all really nice there. Okay, so let's pop that aside. So we need to make a pocket, and it's going to fit in this section here. So this section here is measuring, it's a little bit bigger than 9.7. So I'm actually going to make my pocket 9.5, and I want to make it 2 inches deep or 5 centimeters deep. So this piece here is, we say 9.5, because we've cut, yeah, because that piece has been cut down a little bit. And so I'm just trying to think how I'm doing this. 9.5, and I want to add a piece for each side. So I'm going to make this, cut it at 11.5. Now I have got a score line there that was in the original card. I'm just going to run over that with my bone folder just to flatten that score line out a bit, because we don't want to use that. Actually, what we could do is actually cut it this way, so we're not having to worry about that. Okay, that sounds better. So what did I say? 7.5, 9.5. Okay, 9.5 plus another 2 centimeters. That's how I've got a 1 centimeter fold on the other side. So 9.5 plus another 2 centimeters, which is going to make it 11.5. So I might cut we'll cut the 11.5. So there's 11.5. Move that, and we want our pocket, what did I say, 2 inches or 5 centimeters. So 5 centimeters, I'm going to cut it by 6. We don't need that piece. So I'm going to score this now at 1 centimeter. And I'm going to score it on 1 centimeter on either side as well. So we're scoring a 1 centimeter line around 3 sides. Fold all of those in and give them a nice burnish. And then again on that end. So again, I'm just going to grab my tear and tape close to my fold again, and we're going to tear. Again like that. Again, I'm going to cut these off at an angle across there. Just going to make those folds on those corners much nicer. And at those end pieces there as well. So let's bring in our card again. Now, of course, if you did this with a piece of designer series paper, because you'd have a pretty pattern both back and front. So that's the only thing with using designer series paper that you get. And also, because your designer series paper is actually 12 centimeters in width, you've got a bit more, you don't need to add as many of these tabs that we're going to be adding. So I'm just going to line this up with the bottom. I've made it slightly narrower than my main piece, just because I just want that to make sure that all fits. We're going to give that a bit of a burnish there, fold that down on there. Just push that in a bit there. Probably could have brought that a little bit more that way, but I'm just going to give that a really good burnish, and that's another pocket. So we've got now 2 pockets. So we've got this pocket here, that pocket there, and we're going to do a couple of flaps now coming across here. Hi, Linny. Okay, so these flaps here. Now, on the original pattern, those were done with just, so that's this piece here is that pocket there, except I angled it and I probably should have left it straight, and I haven't got the folds. You would just add tape up either side. But this one here is a folded piece which is going to come down, and then we're going to have another one at the top. So we're going to make that the same way as we made these pieces. But what I thought we'd do is we'd make it in our beautiful floral. So instead of wasting all these envelopes. So I'm grabbing another envelope piece here, and I want to cut this. I want it 5 centimeters deep that way, or 2 inches. Plus I need to allow a turning on these ends, and I need 2 of these. Now, okay, so this one here, I want it 5 centimeters deep plus an extra centimeter for my turning. So I'm going to cut this at 6. And I'm using my measurements here because I haven't, like I'm lining, there's my 6-inch mark in the middle and my 6-inch up there. So I'm just, or 6 centimeters I should say. So I'm just lining those 2 6-centimeter pieces up because I haven't got a flat edge up here, okay? Or do I? Yeah, I wouldn't rely on it being a flat edge. It could be slightly curved. So I'm going to cut that. Yeah, that's quite a nice curve, that curve there. I'm just wondering, because this one here has got adhesive on it. No, I will do it straight because if I use the curve and the matching curve on the adhesive part, it might get glued together with humidity, which has happened here in Australia. So we're just going to cut that piece there off. So there's our 6 centimeter wide piece there. We need to score that now at 1 centimeter because we need that little bit of a turning. So make sure you use that scoring. And we need to cut this the width of our card. So our card width here should be 10.5 centimeters or 4 1/4 inches. Yeah, about 10.5 centimeters. So I'm going to turn, and I've got a straight edge there, and I want to cut this. I want to cut this end bit off here. And I now want to cut this at 10.5. Now I'm going to pop this one with that down the bottom because I've got the butterfly going in that direction. Now I'm going to angle this a little bit. So what I want to do is I just want to angle this probably only by about 1/2 centimeter each side. So I'm just putting a pencil mark at 1/2 centimeter on either side, and I'm just going to take it. I'm going to fold my turning under, and I'm going to pop that 1/2 centimeter mark in my groove down to nothing at that folded edge. I'm going to cut it with that edge folded. And the reason why is that little bit, whoops, I might need to just take a little bit more off. So I want a nice fold there. I just want that to be at a slight angle. So that by cutting it while that is folded, it means that both sides are cut at the same angle, which means that is at a slight angle as well. So now I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to pop my 1/2 centimeter mark there into that groove, and I'm going to pop my other end with the edge folded in underneath there like that. Just do that one more time because I just think it needs that little bit more That's it. So that's one piece, and that, because that butterfly goes that way, I'm going to adhere that in a moment there. So we need to cut 2 of these. Whoops. It's got things flying everywhere. So here's the other part of our envelope. This is the top part of our envelope. Again, I want to cut this at the same as before, which we said that that was 6 centimeters. So I'm going to pop this here on my 6 centimeter mark, and that one on my 6 centimeter mark, and cut. And actually that's just worked out well, because that's pretty much right in that fold line of the envelope. And I'm just going to cut this piece off there. 10.5. Actually, I want to keep that butterfly in, so we might just take that over a bit more. And we want that to be 10.5 centimeters in width, same as the other piece. Now I've got that butterfly again. Now he's going to be coming. So this one here, we're going to have with the butterfly going up. Now if I want to have that butterfly going in the same direction, or we could have it in a different, going upside down, you'd turn it that way, or we could score it along the top there and only lose a little bit of that butterfly. I think I might just lose a little bit of the butterfly. I'm not really overly worried. So I want to score that at 1 centimeter. So we've got that fold line at the top, and then I'm going to fold that down and do the same thing as I did before. Mark off 0.5 centimeter that side, 0.5 centimeter that side. Pop that 0.5 centimeter mark in my groove or the channel on my trimmer. Put the folded edge, that edge folded underneath at the top, and we're just going to trim that off. Just like that, and I'll neaten that up in a minute, and then do the same on the other. Just like that. So let me just pop that trimmer out of the road for the moment. All my rubbish over there, and bring this in, and let's adhere these two together. So again, grab my tape. Hello Jenny, how are you? Thank you for joining us. So again, I'm just going to add my tape runner along that edge there. Tear off, and then the same with this one. I might angle those edges just that little bit more actually. Grab my snips here. This one here didn't get too much of an angle, so I'm just going to angle that little bit more. Same with that one. So this one here, and I'm just thinking, might not pop these on just yet, okay? Because what we want to do, those are going to go there. And then, oh no, probably could put them on. Okay, because see how we go. As I said before, we're really playing this by ear. We're going to pop these lining up with that edge, hoping you can see, lining that up on the edge of that card, just like that. Let's give that a good burnish on that side. I'm going to do the same on this side. Okay, so let's have a look. So there's our front. We can open that up. We've got one pocket there that we can pop something into. Open this up again, and we've got a second pocket here. And then we have these little flaps here, which we can put something on the inside here. So what I thought we'd do is maybe make 4 little discs. And this is like the smallest of the circles. So, and I want to make them from this piece of cardstock here. So let me just bring in this piece here, bring in my die cut machine, and we're going to pop that on there, and we want to make, now you could only just do 2 if you wanted to. 4 gives you a little bit more strength. You could just make 2 and just have 2 at one end, because what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of thread on them, and then this is going to open and close by a piece of thread. So we've still got to put a little punch a circle in here. So I'm hoping I've got a little punch that I can use. Let's pop it in. Cut. Whoops. So we're just going to cut 4 of these. This is in the card stock from the card, leftover scrap pieces from the card. This is just that little bit more stronger than the now you could pop into here a gift card, as I said before, lotto cards. You could put all sorts of things in here. You could make a, sort of, it's like a little gift card holder, or a little, you could put money into one of the pockets. So you could use this for all sorts. You could make a card and pop a card on the inside of it. I don't know, any sort of flat little gift, really. Probably wouldn't put chocolate or anything like that in it, but just a flat type gift. Now let me have a look, see if I've got lots of different punches here. That's a square one. Don't want that. Actually, I know where it is. Excuse me one moment. It's on my sewing table. One of those things that Stampin' Up don't carry anymore. So we're going to pop 2 of those together. And as I said, you could get away with just using one of these. But what we want to do is just pop a hole in the middle. And I'm just sort of guesstimating my holes. Another one there. Now I've got to work out, I'm going to put one of these top, or 2 of these top and bottom, but I need to work out where I'm going to put my holes. I don't want to have it too close to the edge of this, otherwise it's going to could rip through. So I'm going to pop a hole there. And I'm guesstimating the middle too. I'm not. And one there. Another hole. On that side. Now you do need some brads. Oops. Now Stamping Up had in their catalogue these black and white ones, but they do only have a fairly small head. So I'm going to like to use the small ones, but I think they might go through my hole. So I'm going to use the black one, the white square ones. Okay. Just going to take 2 of these. Pop through there. And flatten. I've got one there. Now, if you've got any of the old brads, and you might have a colour that matches, or you could have, I mean, I do have somewhere some of the bronzy ones, but I wanted to stick with white, but just need 2 that's going to go either side, and just push that down. So now to close that up, we just need some baker's twine. I'm just going to use my white in that. Probably about that much will do. And that's probably about, let me have a look. It's about 40 centimetres there. And I'm going to slip this in between those 2 circular discs. Wrap it around there a couple of times. You could leave a piece hanging out if you wanted to. But I'm just going to wrap that around just a couple of times there. And then that will go. And you can probably get away with a little bit less baker's twine. And that will go around that one there as well. Or you could bring that back down. And wrap that around. I might just cut that little bit off. I just do want that to be underneath, I think. There we go. So that's our closure for that. Okay. So I've got my punch here, my circular punch. Now this is a bigger circular punch. You could die cut this if you wanted to by using one of these smaller dies and cut out a little half circle there. But all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut out a little, it's not even half, it's only just a little bit out, about that much out of that one. Now you could have done the same thing on here at a different level down. I don't think I can get that. I think it's going to be too thick to get that in. Yes, it is. I don't even think. I might be able to get this in. Just need a little bit. We don't need too much, but I'm guessing here. Look, I'll just manage to get that tiny weenie. Might even see if I can make that a little bit bigger. I would recommend doing this bit before you actually, because you could end up putting this on in a lot of places or rip your work. There you go. That's better. So do the punching before you adhere this down. That's a warning. So now we've got those 2 pieces and that piece like that. So what are we going to fill this with? Well, The person who I saw this had done this, had made a card which they slipped into here. So what I've got here is a piece of basic white cardstock, but it's too big because I was originally going to do this with a piece of designer series paper. So I need to trim this down. So I need to trim it down in width and into height. So I think for my height, I'm probably going to take it to about there, somewhere about there. And my width, I want to make it probably about 1 centimetre narrower. So at the moment it is 9 centimetres wide. I want to make it 8 centimetres wide on that fold. So let me grab my paper trimmer, and at the top I'm going to take off on this. I'm going to make this height wise, I'm going to make it, let's make it 14 centimetres perfect. So 14 by, and I want to take 8 centimetres off. I'm going to see if I can do this nicely on the fold. So there's a little card there which can go in that little pocket there. So I want to make sure that is going to fit in nicely, just like that. So we need to make this now decorate it. But also what I want to do is cut another one of these. So I'm going to cut another one of these, probably the other one is cut. Cut another one out there. So let's have a look at how we can decorate it. We want to decorate this fairly simply. And we're going to use our memory and more cards to do that. So in here, let's have a look what we've got. We've got our stickers. Let's pull those out. Let's have a look what we can decorate this card with. So we're going to have that in there. Let's just have a look and see. Must be another lot of stickers in there somewhere, but anyway, that's okay. Tell you what they did do on this. They had something like this in here. Well, we might think about that for a minute, because we don't have to do exactly what the other people did on theirs. Well, we're not anyway, because we're using different products. So let's have a look. What could we put on here? We want something. We just want this really, really simple. And I'm thinking at the moment, this can go on to it's already adhered, so I might just leave that there. It's going to move it across just a little bit more, but anyway, that'll look okay there. So that can go on there. And we just want maybe something to go in here. We can make this into a birthday, so we could pop on happy there, and now I'm keeping this all one height. I'm not putting any dimensionals or anything on this. And the reason for that is because it's all got to fit in this little pocket. Pop a happy birthday on there like that. And what else? Because that's going to sit in there. Probably could have put that birthday up a little bit higher, but that's okay. I want to just pop something in there, I think. So then they've got a reason. Just trying to work out how I could do this. Might put a little dimensional underneath that, just for the fact I want that part sort of up a bit higher. Didn't want any dimensionals on this part because it's going into a pocket. But this could easily sit just there. And just got to be careful. We don't want to overlap in that circle there. We want to keep it in this little area here. Okay, just something really, really simple like that. So that can now fit into there. So what they had done in this section here, so you could put a card there. In this section here, you could have something, put money in there. They actually had something like memories and more. They probably would they fit in there? They had something like a few cards like this sitting in here. So I'm just going to pop these in here. So you can pop that in there. If you just wanted to give someone maybe a few cards, you could write a message on there. You could pop in a couple of smaller ones to go with it. And a couple of ones of these with the sentiments on it, so then they feel like they're just trying to work out what other cards I've got here. But okay, so we've got more butterflies. So you could have the dream big. You are nothing short of amazing. You could even join these all together if you wanted to with another Brad. So then they can swing a little bit up the top here and swing open and closed. That's something you can think of doing. You could very easily make a pocket in one of those and put some money. So, you know, I don't know, anything else that you can think of you could put in there? Let us know. Share some ideas. Whoops, let me just... This here's just coming. Let's just wrap that around a couple more times. Wrap that around a couple of times. And so that's going to close up now. We're going to need to put something into this pocket here. So what could we put into there? We could take another one of these if we wanted to. What else have we got here? Just wondering whether I can cut that down a little bit. Or the other thing we could do, so you could put something like that in there. We could have a look and see if there's any more. Okay, I like that one. I think I'm going to buy some more of these cards. I'm actually quite enjoying them. So I want to make another. Oops, get rid of that. I want a card which is probably about 8.5 centimeters by maybe 15. Now you could use actually that might be a good idea. Let's grab a piece of so we're going to cut this down to 15 centimeters. By 8.5. Make sure that that piece is going to have, yep, 8.5. Then we have and as I'm putting this together, I'm thinking about who I can give this to. I'll pop that onto there. Excuse me. Might just trim around this just a little bit closer to my butterfly. So I'm just giving this a little bit more of a trim because I'm actually going to sit him on top of the other butterfly, but I don't want to lose those words. So I'm just going to go just roughly around all those bits because I want that to go down on there, but I don't necessarily want to cover up my words up there. I just wanted to go over that little tag. Oops, I've frozen. Okay. Let's have a quick look here. See if I can remove it and bring it back up again. That's it. Sorry about that. Okay, so that's what I've done so far. Let me just, this is just not focusing. Let me just bring this in so it focuses a bit more. Okay, so let me just bring that up so you can actually see that. Okay, so that's what that looks like. This piece then can fit into there. Oops, I have got rubbish everywhere now. I don't usually have more. So now what we need to do, because that's going to go like that, is to make some sort of belly band to bring all of this together. So we've got that other envelope that I've undone, which is this one here. And what I'm going to do is, now to let you know, the video I saw was something like this earlier, had a bit like, what would you call it, hat elastic that wrapped around it, and it had a couple of charms hanging off it. So it was very, very simple. There was no decoration on this at all, bar this piece here. So you could very easily either leave it at that, just like this piece, because the only problem with putting a belly band around this is it could detract away from here. So you could either use a piece of baker's twine, a piece of ribbon. I'm just trying to work out whether I've got any ribbon actually that we could use, because that's the only thing is the baker's twine, like this here, having this as a belly band wrapped around, is going to deter from that. So let me just have a quick look. Bear with me for 1 second. And let me just grab my container of ribbon, which is up here. I think maybe that one. So let me just sit down again, sorry. So let me have a look. Where can we... I need to just take all of this out. Take that out. If I do this, I probably want it at around about, sort of guessing at the moment, I probably want a hole around about there. To there. So I'm going to grab my craft knife and, sorry, I'm just reaching for a glass plate that I have. I mean, I know I've got a glass plate here, but all I'm going to do is just cut a little slit in that score line just there. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to do the same on that side. So I just want to cut a little slit. Just got to be careful that I'm not cutting into my edges there too much. through there. Guesstimating here how much ribbon I'm going to need. Let's hope for that's enough. And we're going to pop that end just got to be very careful because remember I've got that pocket on the other side of this one. Oops. Pop that through there like that. Okay, so let's pop all this back together again and let's see how it's going to look. So we've got our card there that we can write in to wish whoever a happy birthday. We're going to tell them that we hope they have many smiles. And a couple of quotes for them to dream big and you're nothing short of amazing. Always want to build on people's confidence for their birthday. Put that one in there. That around a few times. Need to pop that little card in there so they know that life is wonderful. Turn that over. Because really we don't need to have a lot of decoration on the front. You could adhere that ribbon down if you wanted to on the inside, but I think that's enough. Let me just pop this away. It's out of the road. Okay, so there you go. Whoops, that's the wrong way around. There's our little little gift pouch, or gift folio. You could put some photos in there if you wanted to put photos in there. So that's just something a little bit different to make. Now that we didn't end up needing to undo this envelope, but we could redo it and put it back together again. And because we've made this out of cards, that should easily all go back into an envelope and pop that back into the mail. So there you go. So there's a nice little, and I think actually I might do that. So let me just grab my tear and tape. Why waste an envelope since we didn't use it? But at least you've seen that there's that undo, which will remove the adhesive, so you can undo this without damaging. Whoops, probably should have had that over a little bit more. Hopefully my pieces are going to cover that up. So let's just take that off. Whoops, we didn't need to take that all the way to the top. A little bit carried away there with adhesive. Should always put your adhesive on your smallest piece. So I tell everybody in my classes, and I didn't do it myself today. Oops, I have torn that a little bit there, but that's okay. I think for just this part of this video. So that's all done. That can pop into there. And all I need now to do is address that and post that to somebody. So I hope you've enjoyed that little project. I hope you find it something that maybe you could try making yourself. As I said, it's something that I have seen. I may even post the Instagram link to it so you can see where I got the idea from, and create one for yourself using your memories and more cards and envelopes. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely week. I'm very sorry we missed last Tuesday, but I have had a big week as far as medical appointments and that is concerned, and literally completely forgot. So have a nice day, and I will catch you all later on. See you next week. Bye for now.